All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Brandon and Veronica here with the Off-Brand and Unfiltered podcast here, and this is episode 2. If you've watched episode 1 and wondering why we're in the same exact clothes, we did this right after episode 1. So, not to confuse anybody, I can already see it in the comments that we're in the same clothes. So, but yes, this is in November. Close to Christmas time, we have the Bath and Body Works candle. I don't know if you can see it, but then some nice Christmas mug coffee. So if you guys are ready to get into it, grab your coffee, grab your popcorn, whatever you guys eat and drink, grab a blanket, and let's get into it.
I have my blanket ready to go.
She does. I think
Love
you
my
can see it.
blankets. All right. So
Episode 2, what do you want to talk about?
I feel like this is a good conversation for us to start our upbringing
Okay,
because we come from completely different backgrounds
total opposite.
and we found each other. And I know when we talk about our certain instances about our upbringing and everything, we kind of clash sometimes just because we have different opinions of everything.
Two different worlds.
Yes,
She grew up in more upper class, and I grew up middle to low class. So, for example, like Disney World parking, she was able to park in the handicap right up front. Never had to walk far.
Because my grandfather was
I parked in the back of bum nowhere. Okay, and had to walk miles. So to me, it's no problem, but to her, it's like a problem. So she's not used to that stuff. So
stop.
it's that's kind of a small example of different upbringings. I know it sounds petty, but
No. That's a little
it's
tiny
I know
tiny smidge example.
I'm giving a small example of like how our upbringing was.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, but I think it's to start at the very beginning. Like not from
I was
adulthood.
born on December 27th,
No,
1998.
don't tell. No, so I think it's really important to talk about our background because that shows us like how we can communicate better with each other, because how I was raised, how you were raised, and how we can raise our kids together too. How we want to differentiate that if we had like I don't want to raise my kids that way type of thing.
No.
No, so I'm originally from Pennsylvania, a small town. So I actually lived with my grandparents the first, I want to say, 5 years of my life, just because my mom was a single mom. I saw her being a single mom for what, 10, 12 years until she met my stepdad. So seeing her work, her dedication, and that was really important to me because she went from like job to job until she found like a stable job where she got to work from home. That's where she worked for 28 years, 26, yeah, 26, 28 years. And I think that was very important to me to see the hard work and dedication. Like, yes, I grew up upper middle class, but she worked to be upper middle class as a single mom. And that's what I really do appreciate. Is that hard work and that dedication where she came from, because she wasn't going to say, okay, yes, I'm a single mom, but that doesn't mean I can't provide for my kids in the long run. And I think that's very empowering because there's a lot of single moms these days that feel like they don't have the support, they can't do anything, they don't have the luxury, they can't lift themselves up in this hole. But I'm proof that when you were raised by a single mom for so long, that you can have everything that you want for your kids and still give them the best life possible. Like, I don't have any complaints about my life. I was able to graduate high school. I was able to go to college, um, a private college with that. And that's because I saw the hard work that my mom did. Like, my mom is only a high school graduate. Um, so she proved herself time and time again. She worked 3 jobs at one point, um, just doing like random odd jobs, like selling jewelry at one point. Um, so I think that's just very important to share, just because I know where that hard work and dedication stems from. I think that is in me too sometimes, that I always want to do like something better. I always want to do something better for the family, in a sense. Like I always want to grow and learn, do something new
Mm-hmm.
with that. Um, and then it's interesting with my upbringing because when my mom finally met my stepdad, um, they they were like two peas in a pod right away. My mom met my stepdad when he just turned 21. So he took on two kids that were already in their teenage years, which is a lot because as girls, teenagers are already going through a lot. And I will always remember this moment that when he did for our family. Um, his parents didn't approve of me or my sister because we are mixed.
Black.
We can't say
Yes, you can say
no,
black. It's a color.
no,
If got this black crayon, it's
no,
black. Black. It's going in the
no,
video. It's black. She's
no,
black and white. She's mixed. It's okay to say that.
no. Well, I want to be kind. I want to be
There's nothing rude
nice.
about that. There's
Anyway,
nothing rude about that.
but me and my sister are of color, and and when my stepdad started bringing us around, his mom basically flat out said, "No, this is not allowed. I will not have different colored children in my home." So she was worried about what her neighbors would think. It's not like we would like rub off on the couch and leave marks. I don't know why she thought having
She's a racist, yeah.
I don't know why she would think that would affect her lifestyle at all by having colored children enter her home.
It's called racism.
Um, so when she would babysit us, she would lock us out of her house and we would just think nothing of it because we were kids at the time. So we would just have fun in the backyard, just play and everything. And when we couldn't get in the house, it was funny because her sister actually lived like three houses down. So we would just run to her sister's and go inside when we needed like a break from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really amazing that when that happened and he found out that was happening to us, that he cut out his mom completely, and she still reaches out to him to this day. Um and he's like, no, I will never understand why you treated my children like that, locking them out of the house for that long. Like, just because they're different color doesn't mean you just don't invite them in just because you care what your neighbors think. It's not right. And that's also the turning point where I saw him as dad material. Just because he's been in my life since 10, 12, and now I'm almost 30. So it really shows a testament to how deeply in love that he was with my mom, but also that he is not a racist like his mom. um, and that sucks, especially with the world that we live in today. Like, why is that still an issue?
Politics for a different type of video.
I don't even want to get into politics, but that's kind of how I was raised, that with a single mom up until I was that 10, 12, seeing her hard work and dedication. And then my stepdad, when he was in his 20s, still just now figuring out life, what he wanted. And then he was able to stand his ground to his mom and say, I love this woman. These are my children. How dare you? And still stand his ground, what, 15 years later, 20 years later?
Yeah, something like that.
So it shows how, yes, I was privileged in a sense, but I saw the hard work, I saw the love that my stepdad gave to my mom, and I still see that to this day. So that's also like what my stepdad did for me. I appreciate a lot because I go into this world like, why? Like, why judge someone else? So that's my background. But I think it's important because it shows how I was raised from a woman standpoint for X amount of years, and then a father figure came into my life as
Mm-hmm.
well. So now it ties into how we can raise our kids better too. So
Definitely, yeah. I definitely see a lot of that. So, but
thanks.
you're welcome.
Talk about your upbringing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I grew up with both my parents. Let's see. Yeah, so grew up both my parents. My parents bought their first house right before I was born, back in the '90s, and basically, I grew up in a pretty good household. My dad always had a great job. My mom always had a great job. So we weren't ever, I don't want to say ever, but the first probably 9 years of my life, I have two other siblings. I'm the oldest of three, and basically grew up, with both my parents in the house until they had some marriage issues. They lost that house due to the bankruptcy, and so we were jumping from place to place for a couple of years until they were able to buy a house again. I'm having a sneeze. I can feel it coming. Ugh. Um, so I grew up. I had the love of sports. My dad always had me, watch. We were always watching football, going to basketball games. I've seen a Miami Dolphins game. That was so long ago, but I've been to that stadium. And then yeah, so it was definitely nice having both my parents in the house. I got to see how a man treats his wife. I didn't have a dad that was verbally abusive or physically, so I didn't have to grow up in that kind of household. My mom was always there, still is, even though I'm 26, almost 27 now. So still asks me what I want for Christmas. I'm like, Mom, I'm almost 27. I don't need anything. But so yeah, so grew up in a totally different opposite type of upbringing, but we were very poor at some points due to job issues later on in my years. But right, oh man, right after my teen years is when their financial situation was really good. Basically, until I moved out of the house, and they're still doing well now. But just being
You can look at me and look at the camera too, because it's not like a camera talk. It's like us
I know,
talking.
but that's what I'm used to. I've been
I
doing it
know,
for
but I'm
12
saying
years
this
with
is our conversation, and look at the camera every now and again.
I know, but I've been doing that for 12 years.
I know, but
It's
kind of it's like the
it's
podcast
normal.
is like talking back and forth type of thing.
I want to relax. I can't relax. So I would like to relax. If we're going to have a normal conversation, I'm going to relax.
Are you in view still?
Yeah, I am. See the three cameras? I have it set to where it's here and here. So, what's it called? Yeah, I apologize. I've been doing this for 12 years looking at a camera. So, yeah.
No, we're having a conversation.
But yeah, so I don't know, it's weird because you know my life, so talking to you is like it's like I'm talking to the same person twice. Um but yeah, so being able to what was I saying? But yeah, so being broke a lot during my childhood years was a little harder. Still very grateful, very thankful for all of that. I had a really good childhood. We still went to Disney majority of my years. So we still had. God damn, what? Fuck my god. Fuck. So we still had, I still had a really good childhood. Played sports, played for the same school for 9 years, graduated from there, went to states, Final Four, tore my ACL, broke my back, sprained my ankles to no end. Um,
Oh
so
man.
yeah, but how I got into video games though is so emotional. How I got into video games was I played video games my whole life. Played on my first console was the PlayStation 1. I had the PlayStation 2, the thick one, the slim, a 360, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, or Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox One S, Xbox Series S,
This is about your childhood.
Nintendo. I am. This is a massive part of it. So I played video games, on and off throughout the years, but my goal was to go into the NBA, like every kid does, every basketball player wants to do, shocker. Played point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, could play all the positions, was pretty good. After I tore my ACL though, I couldn't walk for a couple of months, had to basically, this was going into my junior year. So my college hopes were basically finished. Looking back, I don't think it was, but back in that moment, I was like done. So after I tore it, I was like depressed or whatever you want to call it. So I started playing video games more. This is when Black Ops. Oh, the sun just came out. Black Ops 3, I think it was. Black Ops 3 was when, yeah. So that's when right around when I tore it. I graduated in 2017, so that's why. And I basically started playing video games a lot, and I was like, damn, I'm pretty good, dude. What the fuck? Why am I yawning? I'm like having such a hard time here. Talking for me is easy as shit. And so that's when I found out I was really good at video games, and I'm like, all right, I could maybe do something. And I watched YouTube for a while. YouTube was only out for a couple years at that point, but I was like, all right, let me start posting YouTube videos. And my first YouTube video was ALS ice bucket challenge, and did that in my parents' old front yard with my buddy dumping ice all over me. That was the trend back then for that. And so I started doing YouTube videos, did like Herobrine videos for Minecraft. If any Minecraft fans are watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. People ate that up, got hundreds of views. Herobrine documentaries, Herobrine sightings, got like tens of thousands of views on like 2 or 3 videos. Did Battlefield 4, no commentaries when that was when that was the game. Oh, got really into that, and I wanted to do that as like a full-time job. And I'll never forget this. I had my parents sit in the living room, and I was like, all right, I'm not getting a job. I'm going to do YouTube full time. And they laughed at me, rightfully so. You're like, I was 16 at the time, 17. And they're like, no, you're getting a job. So unless if you're going to produce all this money, you're getting a job. And I understand how that worked at that point. I was very naive, and the world to me was just, school and video games and basketball. That's all my top 3, and girls, but that's a whole other type of topic. Yeah, so I was just like, I didn't want to work a job. I've always believed in, there's more to life than having to work a 9 to 5. You can do that. We live in America, capitalism, free enterprise. Not to get all into politics, but
That's how we get canceled.
yeah. So I always believed you can do whatever you want, you can create whatever you want, and be able to live and flourish off that. I wanted to have my own schedule. We were homeschooled, so my brother and I would do our homework at night, all night, then sleep till 12, 1 in the morning because we were up all night. Get up, fix the homework that my mom checked, and then we were free for the rest of the time. We would have this, we would get all of our homework done ahead. We would have like 2 or 3 months off of the year. So I had my own schedule. So I was used to that. I love that. My mind works best at night. It's a little hard now because, I do have a job, but we're working towards that stuff. But, so me, I'm like, I don't want to have to be controlled by someone that tells me when I can, when and when I can't make money when I cannot see my kids, go on vacation, blah blah blah, eat, take my breaks, go to the bathroom. Not knocking jobs, but I wanted that freedom and to be able to have my wife not have to work a job too. Life changed a little bit there, but that's okay. So yeah, so I really wanted to do YouTube. I was like, the freedom to do what you want, to create, and have a wonderful life too. The benefits to that is great when streaming was still on the come up. Um, so yeah, so when I told my parents that, I'm just like, that's yeah. Looking back, that was bold of me, and that it's a lot like how I am now. So, but um,
Well, your parents are very,
yeah.
um, you have to work with the
Yeah,
40-40-40
yeah,
plan. They're very
yeah.
like cutthroat. You have to work until you die, basically.
Yeah, my mom, she's worked hard her whole life, still does to this day. Um, and so I get the work ethic. My dad's worked hard his whole life too. So, um, yeah. So that's kind of my childhood.
Well, where do you think the drive from having that freedom, but you have two parents that worked like their whole life? Why are you wanting to be free and not work a job anymore, but you're used to seeing both parents work a job and you don't want that?
Because it's not financially stable anymore. Working a job is not how the my parents grew up in I grew up into the 2008 recession, and everything went up. The stuff they say how expensive things were back then, I'm like,
Trust me, I no. Side note, I had a conversation with my grandma and this ticked me off. We were talking about childcare yesterday, and she's like, "Yeah, I paid like $50 a month in childcare." I said, "What?"
now granted, wages were much lower back then, but still, it's yeah. Now the wage to income ratio is just so far exceeded. I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You have to work two jobs. Wife and a husband have to work. Then you may need to go DoorDash some on the weekends to pay for your gas to get to and from work. It's just stupid. I didn't want a stupid degree. Nothing against college, but just didn't want that. I would still to this day at 26 be in college, not knowing what the hell I wanted to do with my life. I didn't want to be controlled. Just not self sufficient anymore. Having your own brand or your own product is you can scale that more, and I have some friends that do that, and they live a pretty good lifestyle, pretty damn good. Make their own schedule, do their own thing.
So you seeing your parents work as hard as they did, when you were growing up, you were like, "No, that's not for me."
It's not that I didn't want to work hard, because obviously I do. I work very hard now.
Well, I'm
Um,
talking about in a job
it
sense.
just it's too broke. Like, yeah, even back in 2008, you making what 40-50K a year was pretty damn good. Now it's nothing. You need to make at least either together or by yourself 130, $140,000 just to get by.
Hmm.
We don't even make that, and we do pretty good. So yeah.
No, I get it.
So it's just not a job isn't sufficient anymore unless if you make that much money. So and that can come off wrong to some people, but I'd rather work hard on my own brand and my own product than someone else's dime and may or may not have a job. With the how the economy works, but
Yeah.
not to get off topic there. So why did you want to become a teacher?
Why did I want to be a teacher? Do you
Mm-hmm.
know this story?
Yeah,
Why?
because you saw what your one of your teachers did when you were growing up, and you loved it. You loved how
Oh, good.
how
Good.
school was. Yeah,
Good for you. Yeah.
she acts like I don't know her life. She only tells me the same story twice, like 10 times a year.
Hey. Shh.
I've heard you tell other people that.
Oh, good. You're paying attention while I'm talking.
I do.
That's good for you.
She owns me.
I do. Own you and your wallet. Love it.
Hmm. Did you being not having a father for the first, what, 12, 13 years of your life stimulate to you having issues with men? Finding men, because you have a path of, you're what, 28 now, 28, yeah, right, yeah. I forget. I'm getting old. um and you had issues like trying to find that one, and you know how it led to basically, I guess, me, your long journey. I know we kind of haven't really gone into that, but
We haven't. You're going.
I don't know.
You're going in so many different
Well,
directions.
because they say statistically, women that don't have a man in their life end up having daddy issues. Did you have daddy issues?
Oh, my sister said I had daddy issues all the time.
Still do. No, I'm just kidding.
Shut up. No, my sister still says to this day I have daddy issues. And
You're married to me.
I still don't know what she means by that because she didn't have her dad in her life either. Her
Issues,
dad
trust
was in
me.
jail. Her dad probably still is in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Um but I I don't think I have daddy issues, but
You did before.
she said I did. My mom said I did at one point.
you
So I don't know the definition of daddy issues. Like maybe like
basically, they try to find, it's from my understanding, they try to find a man in their life that can be the dad that they never had. So they get clingy, and then they get possessive, and it's
okay,
basically.
okay, so that makes sense. So when I was being raised, like my upbringing,
Did
it
you not
didn't
having a dad
affect
for
me.
so long, because your stepdad that came into your life, um let's my train of thought here. When you were a teenager, you were kind of already not set in your ways, but didn't have a dad for so long that you're like,
Right.
it takes a while to get used to a step parent. Never had one, but I would assume that's takes a while. Um,
I feel like with my stepdad coming into my life when I was already a teenager, like all that before has already passed.
mm-hmm.
Like I remember he came to us, and again we were teenagers at this point, and he's like, so I was thinking about adopting you guys. What do you guys
Mm-hmm.
think? And I was a complete a-hole for telling him this. I literally looked at him dead in his face and I'm like, no, why? Because we're going to change our last names anyway when we get married. And his face went from like happy to so disappointed. And I didn't mean to disappoint him. I didn't want him to go through all that money, go through that adoption process because adoption takes forever. I didn't want him to spend all that money, all that time when we're just going to change our last names anyway when we get married.
And she did.
And I did. My sister hasn't yet because she is.
Your sister's living that bachelorette life.
Yeah, my sister is on her own island. But no, I told him, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Why would you put in all those resources? And he's like, well, I love you guys. I'm like, I love you too, and I appreciate you. But just because it's on a piece of paper, I still consider you as that father figure.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need a piece of paper to tell me that you're my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't like there was another man.
right, it's not like I already
and...
had my father in my life and he wanted to adopt me to like shoo away my father or take parental rights. That wasn't it. My dad just wasn't in my life because he just wasn't in my life. Because I'm the oldest of 5 on my dad's side by like a few months. So I already knew he stepped out on my mom before I was even born. And I don't think it had a major part in my upbringing when I was little, but I could see that it affected me like in my high school years and before I found you, just because I was looking for love in all the wrong places, I will admit. But I don't think it had anything like affecting like how happy I was in my childhood. Like I was still that happy go lucky girl growing up.
Mm,
So
I got you. Well, you found me, so that's good.
I did.
Oh man, yeah, that's a funny story. But all right, well, hopefully you guys did enjoy. I know this was kind of all over the place. We're getting used to this stuff. Next episode we'll have more bullet points of what we want to talk about and go over. It's kind of just winging it this episode. So, but thank you guys for everyone that came out. Hopefully, what we were talking about made sense, could resonate with you
Yeah, if
guys.
it resonates to anyone,
Let us know.
yeah, let us know just because you coming from a stable household with both parents, me with a single mom, and then a father figure after the fact. It can resonate to a lot of people. And if you have any questions, like with a single mom aspect of things, like,
Yeah. It definitely. Well, put in the comments what you guys want to hear more of, more details, elaborate on things.
mm,
If you're angry about our comments about certain things, go right ahead. All for it. So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, well, hope you guys do enjoy. Make sure you hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. And yeah, it's Brandon and Veronica here, guys. We'll see you.